Njegove pjesme obišle su svijet i dirnule srca miliona ljudi. On je Maher Zain, jedna od najsjajnijih zvijezda iz sazvježđa islamske duhovne muzike. U ekskluzivnom razgovoru za religijski program BHT1, ovaj višestruko nagrađivani Šveđanin libanskog porijekla otvorit će vrata svog bogatog duhovnog svijeta. U razgovoru snimanom uoči velikog koncerta u Sarajevu, Maher otkriva mnoge slojeve svoje umjetnosti, nesebično dijeli svoju životnu filozofiju i govori o važnosti koju duhovnost ima u savremenom svijetu. Prilika je ovo da saznamo i kako je Zainova muzika postala glas nade i jedinstva širom svijeta, te kako je njenim univerzalnim jezikom inspirirao ljude različitih dobnih skupina i kultura. Ostanite sa nama dok otkrivamo više o jednoj posebnoj viziji svijeta kojem vrijedi težiti.
Maher, welcome back to Sarajevo and Bosnia and Herzegovina.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here celebrating Eid with you guys.
We're in Zetra,
Yes.
night ahead your big solo concert,
Yes.
the very first
Yes.
in our country.
Yes.
What are the impressions you're getting? Sounds, people, landscapes. What are the overall, I would say, takes on Sarajevo? You have landed just a few hours ago.
Yes,
so
I landed
everything
just
is
a
very
few
fresh.
hours ago. So last time I was here was 13 years ago, and I'm sure there's a lot of things that has changed, right? But inshallah, unfortunately, this time I won't be able to go too much around, walk and see many things, because I'm coming here for the show tomorrow and then flying out to Egypt, on Saturday. So I won't have so much time. But as I told you earlier, when I was landing, normally I don't look out too much, from the window, but I saw something like the greenery really caught my attention, in the mountains. It's really beautiful. I live in Sweden. We have also a lot of greenery, but we don't have mountains. So when I see mountains, I get like, wow, it's beautiful, So
Funny that you mention flying in. If Destiny wanted to have you placed in another way, you would be studying and finishing engineering
Yes.
dedicated to airplanes
Yes,
and aeronautics.
that's true.
How did it came
That's
that Destiny put its fingers and changed your mind from engineering to
I mean,
the music?
for me, music has always been there, always. Even when I was studying, I was in high school and in a university and all this. I was all the time doing music. It started as a hobby, it continued as a hobby, it escalated as a hobby. It's always been as a hobby until I think it was 2004 when I was introduced to Red One, the music producer. Renowned. So that's when it turned to become more of a profession. It was more like serious now. And then I traveled to America and all that. But I finished my degree. I finished, I finished my school, and then pursued, the music career. But then at one point, I think it was 2007, when I felt like, stronger, not as stronger, but like a return, I returned to my faith, I returned to God, and then I felt like, okay, I don't want to do music anymore, I just want to settle, I just want to live a normal life. But at the same time, I learned so much about Islam, which I felt like I wanted others to know and feel. I wanted others to feel the same thing. And that's when I connected, like, okay, I have this experience in music and I know how powerful it is. Let's connect these two and do something with it, And then I heard about this record label. Anyway, I told this story many times.
One thing led to another.
Yes, exactly. And alhamdulillah, now we're here.
Talking about the influences and Destiny as such, your family moved. You were born
Yes.
in Lebanon. You moved to Sweden with them at age of 8.
Yes.
And when you look in hindsight, what and how formative this change of venue was for you, leaving Lebanon to a Scandinavian country?
I mean, I was very young. I was 8. Like, if I look back, I don't remember so much. I remember a little bit. I remember, like, of course, the good things, and also I remember, like, the explosions, the bombs and everything during the war, because that was the end of the Civil War, I think, 1989. So I have memories, but So I cannot compare. I don't know how it would have turned if I stayed in Lebanon. You know, I don't know what direction my life would go. I have no idea because I cannot compare because I didn't live there. But obviously, you know, everything happens for a reason. We don't know all the wisdom and the reasons all the time. But subhanAllah, we don't know. I don't know. Now, I grew up in Sweden and I went through whatever I went through over there, you know.
Was it hard to adjust to another mentality?
I think this question would be, you know, easier to ask to my parents, you know. Like they would know the adjustment because they came there as an, you know, as an older age, you know, like they came there and they looked everywhere, so everything new. They lived all their life in Lebanon. They have that culture. They know the language. Like imagine coming to Sweden, and it's like they speak Swedish over there. And my parents, they're like, oh, okay, you know. I can imagine that.
A new language to master.
I can imagine that, yeah. So you must, exactly, at that age, and you have to think about other things. You have to raise your kids. You have to find jobs, you know. There's a lot of things. How big was
your family? How many brothers and sisters?
I have 2 brothers and 2 sisters.
Okay.
Yeah, we are 5. So yeah, so I obviously like there was a great, big, you know, adjustment that has to be taken. But for us as young, you know, children, we just were excited. Because I remember actually when we arrived in Sweden, there was a lot of snow. So that was like something, wow, you know, we were very happy. Even though we have snow in Lebanon, but
it's a different kind of white.
Yeah. So yeah, it was excitement. I think we didn't understand what was going on like fully, you know.
Do you miss Lebanon? Do you go back often?
I do miss Lebanon, of course. You know, even when we moved here, after a couple of years, we started going there every year, you know, just to visit and see the family. And you know, we love the sea, so we used to hang in the sea all the time, you know, fishing and swimming and all these kind of things. So definitely, like you have that, you know,
bond.
Spiritual, like I mean, the emotional connection, you know. To yeah, I go there sometimes, of course.
How did your family react when you told them, forget the engineering part, I am to explore my artistic side?
I don't know. I think, you know, my parents was always, you know, I felt like they trusted me and were like supportive in whatever direction I took. So yeah, even when obviously because there was like also music in the family, so that was welcome. You know, it was.
In one of the interviews you mentioned you remember your father singing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah. So it was like I don't know. They were even happy. They liked it. You know, they liked it that I was going that direction, especially, you know, in the direction that I went, you know, with the Islam and everything. So alhamdulillah, yeah, it was even better because I'm in a safe environment somehow, you know, with good team and yeah.
You're a singer, songwriter, producer.
Yeah, I try.
How many roles? And we counted 3 until now, but does that make, in your case, only a portrait of a total artist? Do you consider yourself a total artist?
I don't think about that. Like I'm an artist, I'm a total artist, I'm this and that. Like, you know, when someone's writing about me, they say, you know, the singer, songwriter, producer, blah, blah, you know, to hype everything. But for me, I don't know, it's just part of me. You know, I've always done this. I've always done this since I was like 16, you know. I started doing this and played keyboard when I was 10, you know, started playing. So you know, people ask me like, how do you come up with this melody? I said, I really don't know, you know. Every time I sit on a piano or like guitar, I can make a new melody.
It just goes through you.
Yeah, I think, and I think this is what, you know, I think this is definitely like, that's what they say, you know, talent. Like talent is a God-given thing. I don't know how to explain it. So it's the same with anyone else who have that. You know, something is very easy for him to do, to write or sing or, you know, like play football or whatever, you know, other sports. So
you did a song for some of football championships years ago.
Yeah, that was the World Cup last year.
The World Cup, okay, one of the very popular.
Yeah, that was some crazy experience. Really.
Wow,
that was one of the really amazing.
You personally are not a big football fan.
I'm not.
I've read that.
I'm not. I'm really not.
How did it come to that point that you would be singing?
Obviously, you know, like you know, the World Cup was hosted in a Muslim country, and I'm a Muslim artist, you know, and so it was like somehow there was some connection there, and obviously, like we didn't know what was going to happen with Morocco. My wife is Moroccan, you know, so there was like a lot of things that happened there. And I'm not like a huge football fan. I can watch, you know, the World Cup. I can watch it with some friends, and it's nice. But I cannot understand. I know some people maybe would feel like I'm crazy, but I cannot understand when, you know, like someone goes up and screams when someone scores, you know. I don't know. So
Makes two of us.
yes, but I'm more into, you know, like also it sounds maybe a little strange, but I like martial arts, you know.
Okay.
Like I like
Individual
so
sports.
So yeah, I watch a lot of MMA, like UFC, and you know, and I'm also like training myself, you know, in jiu-jitsu.
Okay.
So I like these kind of sports. Maybe like when you see me, for example, with a Khabib fight or like, you know, Islam fight, then you see me jumping up and down if he. So I
Okay.
think it's something you just have it. You just have to have it inside. You cannot. I don't know. I don't
Pretend
think
it.
Yeah, pretend it. Yeah, exactly.
You moved to America to work with one of most sought after music producers, Red One.
Yeah.
You mentioned among the other superstars. He worked with Lady Gaga for
Yeah, he
quite
worked,
a
yes, exactly, yeah.
while. How was America for you? Was it?
It was. I was 24, 25 maybe. So it was like a big thing. I remember, you know, when Red One told me I need to move, and you're welcome to come with me. And he told me, now, I need to move to America because he made it very big in the Europe and Sweden, especially. You know, he was making number ones, you know, all the time, but he wanted to make it worldwide. And he said like, if I'm gonna make it worldwide, I have to go to America. And then he went. So I was like, of course I'm gonna come. You know, there was no like second thought about
Who
it.
refuses such an offer?
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. So it was like, yeah, it was really exciting. We went to New York. I lived there for like 6 months, about 6 months. So it was really cool. It was an eye-opening. I learned a lot from Red One. You know, I always say, you know, he's one of the reasons to my success also, because I understood music more. I understood how to think melodies, hit music, and you know, I learned more about these things. I learned about the technicality behind music and production also. So yeah, so it was really, you know, like subhanallah, when you ask me like about, you never know why did I move to Sweden? When there is a plan, you know, there is a plan. Allah knows, no one knows what's going to happen in the future. But how everything, like when you look back and see like this went to this, to this, to this.
It's
to
a
this.
route
Yes,
that one
exactly. If you
goes.
really look back, I think anyone can look back to their own story and they will find something there. They will find like, that's why, you know? Yeah, so.
But
it's really-
America was not the place where you wanted to stay longer or for life.
I didn't plan actually to stay there or not stay there, but it just happened. Like I went back to Sweden at one point, and obviously like the story is long. You know, I've told this many times, but you know, when I was young, growing up in Sweden, then you have this identity crisis. You have a lot of questions about purpose, about this, that, and then you move on with life. But then it comes back. It came back to me actually when I was in New York. So and then when I went to Sweden, that's when I started like changing, like it's called like change of heart, you know, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, so I started like thinking differently. I was 27, I was 28, you know, and yeah, so I started having different, you know, goals or like values, and I wanted to get married, I want to settle down, I want to live a normal life, you know, so I was more mature. So yeah, so then I decided though, I'm gonna quit, I'm gonna stop music, you know, and I told Red One. He said, "Are you sure? You know?" And then when he heard why I wanted to do it, etc., I felt like I wanted to become closer to Islam and this. I wanted to settle down, etc. He was very supportive, very happy for it. So yeah, and that's when the new direction took to
That's
where,
a crossing point for
yeah,
you,
exactly.
getting in touch
took
with
me
it.
to wherever I am today.
How important is faith for you in your everyday life?
It's part of me now. It's like it's part of my. You know, I always say this: if you want to really like, you know, I mean, like enjoy the sweetness of faith, it needs to be part of your life. It's like it needs to be a lifestyle, not just something secondary, you know? Like I'm going to work and then I pray, you know? No. When I'm going to work, I was planning like, okay, I will be there, for example. Okay, so in this time I have to, so it was like part of it, part of my schedule, you know? And I think that's the only way someone will really like feel the sweetness of faith when it's like part of your life. It's just a lifestyle. It's not, you know, it's part of your like your friends, your families, your values, everything. It's just like part of you, you know.
It's all encompassing,
Yes,
so
yes.
to say.
I cannot separate it. It's
And
impossible.
we're immediately sure that spiritual, religious music is a new path, a new avenue you will follow. Did it came immediately to you?
As I said, you know, I didn't like, you know, as at that point also I was, after I came back from America, and I was also truck driver, you know?
Oh.
Yes, I was driving trucks also at the same time while I was working with music in America and before and after America, you know? After like becoming closer and started like realizing, opening my eyes to so many things in Islam, and as I was driving the truck, I started like reflecting and thinking about so many things, and that's when also like I composed and wrote many of the songs in the truck, you know, while I was driving. So
on the road.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like for example, my song "Raditu Billah Rabba," "Open Your Eyes," "Inshallah," some of my, you know, most popular songs. I was in the truck.
Amazing.
So it's really, really interesting. So yeah, I never sat down and thought like, okay, I'm gonna do this or that. No, it just came. It was like a transition.
Wow.
Everything was like just the wave came and somehow, yeah, it's hard to explain.
In how many languages do you sing?
So far, I've sang in 8 now. Yeah,
You speak 8 languages?
No, of course not.
Okay.
3 languages. 3 languages.
Is there a difference? I assume there is.
Yeah.
How you express yourself in Arabic, in Swedish?
Definitely.
or
But you know
English?
what has helped me a lot, because many people ask me like, how do you you know, like translate the emotions if you don't understand the lyrics? Because I don't understand most of the lyrics I sing of the other language. Of course, I understand the concept because most of the time it's translated from Arabic, so I know what it's about. But to understand each word, I don't. So they ask me like, how? So for me, it's always been about the melody. Even when I was younger, you know, like I get affected by the melody.
And the language is melody. Yeah?
Yes, exactly. So when I sing, it's not necessarily always the words that, you know, connect. Like I mean, touch me. You know, it's a melody. So that's why the melody, I'm still singing the same melody, but just with different words, and that's why I can, you know, like express in that way. But also, I want to say, you know, like as a Swedish like speaking person, we have 3 letters, O, A, E, okay, and these have really helped me a lot with all the languages.
Yeah,
You know, like in Turkish, like in Urdu, like in Malay, you know, they
You're
have.
very popular in Malaysia.
Yeah, alhamdulillah, yes.
How did it come
I
to
think
be
it
the
has a
case?
connection, you know, because it's like the biggest, maybe probably one of the biggest region where there's a lot of Muslims, and at that time it's like the timing. I think the timing, you know, it depends a lot of timing about timing.
The right timing.
Yes, exactly. So I think that was good timing for me when I released. We didn't plan it, of course. We were planning to target Muslims in the West as myself, you know, who were going through like, you know, some identity crisis and stuff like that. So we were like, we recorded in English, and we were targeting Canada, you know, UK, Europe,
The Western
America, etc.
Hemisphere,
Yeah, and all of a sudden we started hearing about things in Indonesia, Malaysia, and Brunei, and whole Southeast Asia. We started hearing crazy things about people, you know, like it's just like
Accepting it.
yeah, and like covering the songs and doing this and that, and then we started getting invitations, and yeah, so it was crazy.
Do you consider yourself, or how do you hear when someone reads in the newspapers that you're one of the most popular Arabic singing musicians of today?
I don't really, honestly, I don't think about it. You know, if it's welcomed like that, I'm happy. You know. So alhamdulillah, you know, I think success is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and there's a lot of elements that make success. You know, talent, which is a gift, good team. You know, right timing, hit melodies, the messages, etc. There's so many things. So yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy. I'm blessed, definitely. You know, and I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful. But I don't want to think about like about this. I'm famous and I'm this. I think it can mess up your head. You know. Yeah. And me, my personality, the more famous I become, the more I wanna
Withdraw.
Yeah, that's crazy. Really, everyone knows this.
You like your own spotlight.
Yes. Like I'm always in the center, but I don't like to be in the center. It's crazy. So.
How do you feel about you belonging to a specific music genre, world music, for example? There are some names who really were singing and still are in Arabic language, like Sami Yusuf, of course, Natasha Atlas. Do you consider that there is a very specific place of Islamic spiritual music worldwide, that it's gaining a new momentum?
I think so. I think it's been doing that for a while now, but like, again, I don't think about these things, you know? I was doing music before, and then I continued doing music, you know, but just with a different message, with the different, just a different message, that's it, yeah, basically. For me, it's just like the same music. You know, like you can take a song, for example, like Barakallah, you know, and then put different lyrics, and it's not Islamic song anymore, you know? So for me, I really don't think like I'm gonna do Islamic music. It's just like whatever I feel like I want to convey, and that message is obviously like inspired by what I believe in, and which is Islam. It turned out to be, you know, like Islamic music. I don't even myself call it Islamic music. I just say music.
Yeah, that's a universal way to
just like
address
music
it.
with the Islamic message. So that's why in the end it becomes like Islamic music, you know.
You were mentioning identity quite a lot tonight.
Yeah.
Did you come in terms with how you identify yourself, Lebanese born and raised, Swedish by nationality?
And now married to a Moroccan, Swedish, you know, like Moroccan father of Moroccan and Swedish. So really, like
you're a world
feel
citizen
yes,
of the world.
Yes, and you know, like when you don't know so much, when you're young, you feel like you want the comfort, you know, you want the comfort zone. Like I was always thinking, I want to get married to a Lebanese to keep that simplicity, you know. But I really believe, like for example, I said this yesterday to my son, like to my kids. I tell them, look, because when my kids are like three you know, nationalities. They have three nationalities: Swedish, Lebanese, and Moroccan, you know. And I always say 50% Lebanese to my wife to make.
That's important. The ratio is important.
Exactly, because I'm 100%, she's 50-50. So anyway, no, but I think I tell them, look, when someone asks you where you're from, if it can be useful to say you're Lebanese, say Lebanese. If it's useful for you to say Moroccan, say Moroccan. If it's useful for you to say Swedish, say Swedish. It doesn't matter, you know? And I think for me, it's just like, in the end, I realized myself that, like, subhanAllah, Allah wanted to give me something to take me out of this bubble, you know, about the nationalities and stuff. And I realized myself, like, all of these are not so important. Like, in the end, really, we are human beings and we are Muslims. That's the main thing. That's what I want to teach my children. That's it, you know? So I think if I maybe, I don't know, Allah Alam, God knows, if I would have married a Lebanese woman, maybe my mind would still be like this, you know, and you know what I mean? But now I'm like open more after, especially also I've been traveling so much and I'm seeing all of cultures, all different cultures, different people, etc., etc. So I'm more like open-minded, you know.
That's good.
And I think I would advise anyone who can travel a lot and see, and you know, it will be so much like. You know, it will change you so much.
Would that be advice for the young, aspiring musicians?
Everyone, really. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that, you know, He's said, go, you know,
go and see the world.
See the world, you know.
13 years ago, when you arrived in Bosnia and Herzegovina for the very first time, you visited Srebrenica. In 2020, you have also dedicated a song to Srebrenica, and ever since you've been quite strong and vocal in your support, continuous support to the Memorial Center. There.
We usually like release, I mean not release, but we put the song out every year, you know, during that time, again to remind, you know, because you know this is something what happened, what you guys went through here is just like, it cannot happen again, and it shouldn't have happened, you know. Really, it's just like crazy. And now what's going on in Gaza and Palestine, like people, I don't know. There's like some craziness in the world right now. There's some hypocrisy, you know, there's some double standards. You know, they say, you know, the never again should be also like never again for real, and never again for everyone, not never again only for me, you know. So yeah, so definitely, you know, what happened here, it's like a part of Europe, you know, and shouldn't have happened. And I think it's very important to not forget. You know, that's why we say we will not forget, we will never forget. Yes, exactly. To remember, to not, you know, get naive, to not like, you know, we need to work towards, you know, not making these things happen again, you know. And I think by raising awareness, by being aware, I guess, I think hopefully that can help a little bit, you know. So, and as an artist, as a Muslim artist, I feel like a huge responsibility to if I can do some things, to like my small part, to raise that awareness, to be part of the change, be part of the prevention. Why not? You know, I have to. I feel like I have to. And alhamdulillah, I'm also like very blessed. I have the right team, good team who advise me, you know, to do inshallah the right thing at the right time.
That's good.
So yeah, it's part of what we are, you know, as Muslims. It's part of, like, as a Muslim artist, as a Muslim
community.
label. Yes, exactly. So to do these things, yeah.
We are living a very interesting, some would say, crazy times. Events happening throughout the world are on the verge and edge of comprehension. Can music save the world of the total collapse?
I think the music definitely can bring people together, definitely, and I've seen that, you know, over my almost 20 years now. Actually, it is 20 years, 2004. Like, I'm doing this professionally, so definitely I believe music, you know, can help a lot, you know. But there's like, you know, we've seen like what's happening in Palestine. We've seen how, you know, the public opinion. You know, we've seen what social media can do. We've seen now, especially when it's unfiltered. Like now, you cannot anymore say, you cannot deny it anymore. You know, if you deny it, I always say it. If you're denying it, you're either lying to yourself or someone's holding you like this. You know, and you cannot say whatever you want to say. I really believe so, because it doesn't make any sense. Really, it doesn't make any sense. So definitely, we all can do our parts. You know, we go out, like, there's a lot of millions of people have demonstrated, you know, on the streets. Music can help, definitely, media, you know. But there's like, unfortunately, the world leaders, you know, that's the only thing that can stop whatever's going there. So
we need to change their melodies that they have been singing for
there's
quite a
something
while.
there, you know, and I think we just we just need, as like a public, just to keep pushing and you know, putting on the pressure as much as we can to yeah, I don't know. Really, it's like, as you said, like beyond comprehension.
Yeah.
Like beyond I don't understand how things like this can happen still today. Before, when there was no social media, there was no one filming like live what's going on. Okay, you can get away with it, but now it's not easy anymore.
Maher, shukran.
Shukran. Thank you.
Because my Swedish is non-existent, I cannot recall immediately. Thank you.
You say tack.
Tack.
Yes,
Oh, that was
simple.
easy. That was very
Yes,
easy.
yes.
Thank you for allocating time for BHTV1.
Thank you.
We wish you a successful and unforgettable concert experience in
Inshallah,
Sarajevo.
inshallah. I'm very happy to be here. Yesterday I was with my family, you know, my wife and my mom and, you know, my sisters and brothers and all my, you know, we were a lot of people in my house, like going crazy, you know, alhamdulillah. And today I'm here, you know, celebrating with you, inshallah, and tomorrow.
Excellent. We wish you all the best, and we are hopeful that music will change this world.
Inshallah, I can be a part of it at least, you know.
Pleasure.
Thanks so much, brother.